Welcome back to another edition of Music Monday from the podcast Nurture the Mind. I am your host, Cole Poots, and we have yet again another music reaction. Last week, I did not put out a music reaction, so it's been 2 weeks since I have hopped back on the YouTube channel. I don't know how this music reaction is going to go. It could be a tough one. I'm definitely going to not filter myself and what I want to say and wherever my emotions may take me. We're listening to Tom MacDonald. He put out a song called Charlie. Obviously, as everybody knows probably at this point, Charlie Kirk was assassinated on Wednesday. It says this song came out 2 days ago, so we're sitting at Sunday when I'm recording the 14th, so I don't know then if it came out on Friday. This man is really quick. I remember that, like when he put out the song You Missed that was addressing the potential assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. So Tom MacDonald, in all of the events that we've ever experienced, comes to big events, political events, this man is really able to act very fast and make a song about it within 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. So I think my emotions were obviously a lot more heavy on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've calmed down a little bit. It's still obviously a very heavy subject to talk about. I just think there's so much that goes into this successful assassination attempt. So we're going to address all of that after listening to the song. I want to hear what Tom MacDonald has to say, what his thoughts and emotions are. We'll just see where it takes us, guys. This is a very weird time in America right now. A very dark chapter in American history, and I'm going to try and break it all down the way that I've thought about it, the way that I think it needs to be looked at, exposed at, the way that I think it needs to be seen. Let's try not to talk too much in the intro. Let's just get into it and see where this reaction takes us. Once again, it is Tom MacDonald. The song is Charlie. There is a music video, so we'll go through the music video first. It's really short, 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Depending on what we get from the first listen, I may have to go back and listen to it a second time without watching the music video, just to get the audio, just to get the instrumentation. That's usually what I like to do on these music reactions, but we'll see. There's no structure today. It's just going to be raw, whatever comes to the surface. So here we go. In reading right here, it says yesterday. Oh, so he's probably started recording or writing the song the day after the assassination attempt happened. Yesterday, in a violent act of cowardice, an assassin took Charlie Kirk's life. My heart goes out to his wife, his 2 children, and to his millions of loyal supporters. All proceeds from this song will be donated. Rest in peace, Charlie.
Shot down and he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind a wife and a daughter and a son. All he did was try to speak for all of us. And I'm so tired of the hatred and the narratives. The patriots ain't dangerous, woke people are the terrorists. They shot and killed the father, sent a message to Americans. They ain't gonna stop until they bury us. Dear Charlie, I don't know if you can see us now, but if heaven has a window, I sure hope you're looking down. Cause we ain't going quiet, we gon' scream your name loud. And you're gone, but I swear to God that we gon' make you proud. We ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good man tried to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us, but good men die for the things that they say. And I can't just be quiet. So I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day. Killed in cold blood for having a discussion, and liberals are celebrating murder like it's justice. You didn't kill a villain or the evil that it comes with. You killed a father and a husband. And I'm so tired of the left and all the wokery. We can't get along if you just kill us when we don't agree. Sniper rifle fire from a liberal that no one sees. Scared I might be next to die when I'm just buying groceries. Charlie, we'll make sure your children know that defending all our freedom is why you aren't coming home. I hope heaven has a window you can watch your children grow and hear your message echo from below. And we ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us, but good men die for the things that they say. And I can't just be quiet, so I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day.
Yeah, let's talk about it. It doesn't make sense to me, but also at the same token, it makes all the sense in the world when you actually think about it. Charlie Kirk was murdered, and in this country for a long time now, this terrible ideology, this far left communist ideology has turned into an infestation in this country. And it's convincing people to go mad. And I think it starts with a lot of young people. I think it starts in universities. I think it starts in the schools. I think it starts in the education systems. You know, that's where they can capture these youthful minds that don't have enough experience in the world just yet. And so you convince these kids, these young adults who don't even have their brains fully processed and developed just yet, you convince them that their view of the world, although inaccurate, is completely righteous. And because they have such a hard time listening to other people speak their truth, speak the truth about reality, they think that they got to go out into the world and they're going to salvage this nation by taking somebody else's life. I think I talked about this on The Devil is the Democrat. I agree with a lot of things that Tom MacDonald says, but like he even said, like in this song to Charlie, like referring to like the left or liberals. It's not all of the left. It's not all liberals. It's a far left ideology that has gone full-blown communist. That's what we have to look out for. There is a huge swath of Democrats that are reasonable, that would condemn this action. And yet, yes, far left communist, they are celebrating this man's death, which is absolutely ludicrous. I talked about it on The Devil is a Democrat. It's the fringes, it's the far left, and it's the far right. Everything outside of that is more reasonable and respectable. You know, general like right of center, general left of center. I disagree with that. It's not all liberals and it's not all of the left. It's the far left ideology. It's the progressive liberals out there on the fringes. But here's my thing, like in recent memory, we have only seen this attack come down on Republicans and conservatives. So, you go back to last year, 2024. There were two people that tried to assassinate Donald Trump. And now you have a successful one on Charlie Kirk. Why is it that it's like every mass shooting, it's like every moment like this, not just isolated to Charlie Kirk, it's Republicans and conservatives that are getting attacked? I know there are people out there that fit into the far right category. There's that extreme ideal that exists on the far right, but I'm going to be honest, like just being unbiased. I'm not a Republican, not a conservative, not a liberal, not a Democrat. I'm in the middle. I'm a moderate. I try and look at things unbiased. I talked about this in The Devil is a Democrat. You see so much more violence come from the far left than you do the far right. And it amazes me that a man that was out there and built his whole career on literally just trying to talk to people. He built his platform on having debates with people that viciously hated him and basically wanted to spit in his fucking face. He would debate these people. What about that is wrong? What about that is un-American? That is the most American thing that you could do, is engage in civilized debate and disagreement. And that's what Charlie Kirk did. And in that way, he's unifying people. And, people want to hate him for his political views, his societal views, his cultural views. I think that's even a fraction of what his purpose was. He was more so a man of God. That was his big motivation in life, was serving God. Then came the family, then came the politics, societal stuff, cultural stuff, the whole career. He was a man of God. And, being honest here, I think that this man, we don't know all the details. So I don't know if I can say this shooter was just some far left, deranged lunatic. And I guess that's where I have the problem with putting shit out immediately. Like we have this thing called social media, the internet now, and like everybody wants to express their opinions right away and their frustration. We don't have all of the details. We don't have all of the facts. So how could you derive to some type of conclusion? I understand the assumption to get to saying it's some far left, deranged lunatic, but what if this is an organized attack? What if the guy that killed him, what if he was led to do this? How the fuck did he get into that position in the first place? Nobody identified it. There's some information and news that's coming out now that speculating that the FBI had word of this guy for 2 weeks before the event took place, before the shooting took place. And it's like, you hear that all the time in these situations, that the FBI had some type of insight or intel about the shooter, about the killer, the person that did the mass shooting, and it's starting to really feel like nothing's been done. Like they allow this to happen. And the only thing that I can think of is Charlie Kirk was a man that was trying to unify people through the gospel, through the word of God. And in any other time in human history, guys, figures, people that try to do that, they got killed, they got executed. You look back at Martin Luther King Jr., JFK. If we broaden this to a very wide perspective, I'm asking everybody that's watching this video right now to really open your mind and think about potentially what just happened on Wednesday. Because I don't even think Charlie Kirk was super unifying in his political beliefs, although that's something that he was very well known for. I think it was because of the respectful way that he allowed people to engage in debate, and he was a man that led through his faith. The top people throughout the world, all governments of all different countries, the World Economic Forum, people that are running this world, the top 1,000 people, whether it's world leaders, whatever it is, They cannot have us regular citizens unify and stand together, because the moment that that fucking happens, their whole agenda, their whole plan, it falls to the wayside. So it feels like the assassination of Charlie Kirk was based off of that premise. They can't have a man that's going out there engaging in debate and trying to unify people and doing it in a very respectful way. Those are my thoughts. I feel like that's why that man was assassinated. I mean, I know we're getting details of the shooter, but how can we jump to these conclusions? How can we just jump on the internet and say it's this, that, and the other? I mean, allow the emotions to be there. I was so fucking pissed off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm still pissed off, although it's a little bit more tame Saturday, yesterday, and Sunday today. It's not okay that this man lost his life. He's 31 years old. And his wife and his fucking kids were in attendance. You know, and I made the mistake on Wednesday night, after hearing everything, after talking to people, being at work. I finally get to go home, and like an hour before I was supposed to go to bed, I'm scrolling TikTok and I find the close-up video of him getting shot. And it's one of the most traumatizing things that you will ever watch if you have any human decency left in your fucking body. And, you know, the man is basically lifeless in an instant. He was probably dead as soon as that bullet went through him. And blood is just spewing from his neck. And you think his wife is there, his kids are there, and they have to run up potentially to see that. And he's 31 and he was just getting started, even though he's been doing this thing for like 10 plus years, you know, building his career. To think, okay, like where would have this man gone, and all of the good change that he's already brought to society, to this world, to this country? How far would that impact go if he was able to stay alive? It's the thing that I say all the time in relationship to what we do over here with music reactions. My favorite musician, artist of all time, Mac Miller, he was 26 when he passed away, super fucking young. That man accomplished so much in a short period of his lifetime. It's like, what would he have done if he got to see all of it? If he got to go all the way to the end? What type of music would he have created? I've said before in the channel, I think he would have gotten through his issues, drug abuse, anxiety, depression, all of that stuff. That, you know, this man, Charlie Kirk, was executed for the unity that he was bringing, and yeah, potentially too, maybe his ideas as well. But I have a hard time believing that this was carried out by the shooter. Is apparently like 22 years old. How does a 22-year-old have all the access and the means to like go orchestrate this whole thing by themselves? I don't believe that. There has to be help. Why do we still not know all of the details of what happened in the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting, where that same young kid, not the same, but like same age, there was that young kid in Butler, Pennsylvania that tried to kill Donald Trump? You know, people are rushing to these conclusions and saying it's this, that, and the other. And it's like, at the end of the day, you honestly don't fucking know. And with where the distrust of the media has gone to, how do we even know that what they're presenting to us is the real information? And I'm not saying that to say that like, okay, don't trust anything, don't trust any institution, like be highly critical and skeptical of everything. But if we learned anything through COVID, like that's where I really started to open up my eyes. It's that like you really kind of have to question everything. You have to start with questions in order to hopefully find and derive the best conclusion. And this is one of the biggest problems with social media, is like you just immediately react, immediately spew. And it's like you don't have enough pertinent information to derive any valid, logical conclusions. And if it is some far left deranged lunatic that was able to carry this all out, then there's a few institutions that really need to be held accountable. Number one, it has to be news outlets and organization, Fox News, but also all of the left-leaning news outlets. They do nothing but spread propaganda 24/7, basically political propaganda. It's not the news anymore. If you watch any left-leaning news outlet, I swear to God, every 2 stories, it's something negative that Donald Trump is doing in the world. And so, they probably do the same shit about Charlie Kirk and anybody who's conservative or and Republican, but also Fox News does that stuff as well. They contribute to it as well. I'm not letting left-leaning news outlets off the hook. I'm not going out here and blaming both sides. Again, I've based this whole thing around far left, far right. You can't say all Republicans and conservatives engage in this shit. You can't say all liberals and left. You can't say that. That's where we're not going to make progress if we just keep doing these hasty generalizations. We have to call it out specifically for what it actually is. If it is some far left deranged lunatic, the institutions that have to be held accountable is all of the political figureheads that have been basically promoting violence towards conservatives and Republicans. I've been seeing these videos going all across the internet, and I can put it in the link in the description below. People like Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Tim Walz, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and then news anchors all across the nation that call for some type of political violence. So it is, if the shooter is some far left deranged lunatic, those are institutions that have to be held accountable, because you're turning the temperature up constantly and you are putting people under pressure, because if they're absorbing that stuff in the media, what do you think that's doing to their minds? It's slowly turning them over to a situation like this where they're like, I really hate Charlie Kirk and his views, right? I can't stand this man and the hate that he spreads. Same thing with Donald Trump. I'm going to get myself in a position to go kill him. They have to be held accountable. They have to be put in jail. They are totally at fault and they are totally to blame. And then the next thing that you have to go to is our damn phones, these screens, and social media companies. Because overconsumption on the phone puts us into camps even further where we're not willing to talk. You really think that you can engage in any productive disagreement or dialogue about big issues like this if you're sitting on fucking Facebook or Instagram and you're like fighting with somebody that you just, there's no way to like see it logically or rationally. There's no way to have common ground. That's why what Charlie Kirk did was so fucking important, because it was talking to people face to face that disagreed with him. Get off of your fucking phone and get into real life. I hold the social media companies accountable to. These phones, although they can be used as a tool and they're convenient and they're useful, they are ripping us to shreds in society all across the world. I've been having this realization this year, this summer, moving back to my parents' house, even before this whole Charlie Kirk thing happened. And it solidifies it in my head even more. Like, I will still have social media. I'll have it so I can post some things. I can promote my YouTube channel and my podcast, but I am not going to participate in overconsumption and the degradation of this culture, society in our country. It's driving us mad. Our brains are fucking fried. Not only from that, spending too much time on our phones, but we're not meant to be put under this pressure constantly in society where we're always fighting each other. We're always at each other's throats. If you ask any of your parents, if you ask any of your grandparents, 20 or 30 years ago, this type of divisiveness, this cultural divide was not as intense. We had a moment like 9/11 that brought everybody together. And sadly, it's hard to envision that this moment with Charlie Kirk is going to bring people together. I think that we're going to go further down this path of division, and I really hope that I'm wrong. But I'm sick and tired of it. And if it is the far left, deranged, mentality that caused this. I am at a point where I am not going to accept that in my life anymore. I think another reason that we got ourselves into the situation with Charlie Kirk is because, and again, not even saying like right, conservatives, Republicans, I'm saying anybody that just thinks with common fucking sense, that has gave in to that communist ideology in the last 15 years, we are all to blame. We have all made it so much worse because you know that the things that they preach in that ideology are not true. And yet we go along with it because we're afraid to rock the boat. You know, we're afraid to say, hey, men are men, women are women. That whole trans ideology, all that shit, it needs to stay out of schools. Other crazy shit that ideology promotes, that, you know, we're going to go and do DEI. Oh, diversity, equity, inclusion. Just because you're black, just because you're a certain race, just because you identify as a certain sex, or because you're a guy and you like to fuck guys, you get the job. No, it's based on a meritocracy, which means that you have to be the best for the fucking job if you're going to get that job. It's all these crazy things in society that have been persisted, have been allowed, and we've just accepted it. If you go back to COVID, the world gets shut down. They tell us to wear masks. They tell us to engage in social distancing of 6 fucking feet. They say you need to get the jab or otherwise you are fired. You know why COVID was so bad and why it persisted for so long? It was because we gave into it. I can't tell you how many of my friends, people that I knew, coworkers, regular people that I engaged with in public, so many people did not believe in that, or at least that we shouldn't have gone that far in those extremes. Take it seriously for like 2 weeks, but say, hey, we don't shut down an entire fucking country over something that is basically synonymous with a common cold flu sickness. The reason that was so bad is because we gave into it. There were so many people, and I'm guilty of this. I did the same thing, but it's like, you go out into public, you don't want to wear the mask, you don't want to listen to people, but you do it anyways because you're afraid. It was psychological manipulation and warfare. And we, in part, as American citizens, are to blame for Charlie Kirk's death because we let that shit inch into our lives, inch by inch by inch by inch. That's what communist ideology does. It inches, it pushes at you to the point where the population gets mad and they start to fire back. And then communist is like, okay, we pushed a few steps, now we got to step back. Wait some time, wait a little bit, and then we're going to push again. That has been systematically going on in this country for 15, 20, 25, 30 years. We are partly to blame for what happened to Charlie Kirk. I have no tolerance for the far left communist ideology. This whole thing with Charlie Kirk has rattled me to the core, just like I think it should rattle everybody to the core. I'm getting pissed because I'm seeing people they don't have a sense of urgency about this situation. They're not getting mad. They're not getting upset. And yeah, I mean, obviously, of course, there's going to be people that celebrate his death. Like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Karma's coming. A lot of those people posting shit online are getting fired from their jobs, and rightfully so. Thankfully, they're getting fucking fired. How could you celebrate somebody's death even if you disagreed with the person? All human decency has gone out the window. We've become desensitized because we're over fucking stimulated from these phones. We've become desensitized that we forget that that's a death. Death is permanent. That man is not coming back. Where is human decency? There's no common thread of truth that unites us anymore through all of our differences. And it's because we're not looking for the things that unite us anymore. That's why I say news outlets, news organizations, social media companies, they should be held responsible for things like this. It's eroding society, you know, and it's like we're just signing up for it. Like, y'all have to notice, even before Charlie Kirk's assassination, that we were going in the wrong direction in society. I see it all the time. I see it almost every single day. Like, people don't connect anymore. They don't talk. They don't engage. It's all in the fucking phone, man. We're desensitized. We're depressed. we're disassociating from what truly matters. Charlie Kirk is executed because of how he was trying to unify people through debate, through conversation, and his love of God. What's wrong about that? Even if you don't believe in God, what is wrong about that? God, Christianity, all different types of religions, all they've ever done is, for the most part, provide a good framework for a person to operate and live their life. You don't have to agree with it. When did we get to this point where it was like we had to agree on everything, otherwise it's do or die? It's so fucked up, and people aren't calling it out for what it is. And I'm afraid that we're going to continue to go down this path. And I don't know what this video is going to serve. I don't know who's going to watch it. I don't even have 2,000 subscribers just yet on my YouTube channel. Some people tune in. I've had some videos that have done really well. I'm passionate about this stuff. I'm pissed off. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. Death is permanent. We're not getting Charlie back. And it's time to get vocal. The time was yesterday. The time was a long time ago to get fucking vocal. If you encounter this crazy ideology, whether it's online or it's in your day-to-day life, common, regular citizens of this country, I don't care if you are left of center, I don't care if you are middle, I don't care if you are right of center. Again, I'm getting away from these fucking definitions. I'm going to be specific from here on out. Who it is and who it isn't. The extreme ideologies of both parties are what is killing this country. But in this instance, it's far left communist ideology. If you embrace that in your day-to-day life or online, you have to put a fucking end to that. Otherwise, these people are encouraged to go out and do things like we just saw on Wednesday. And if you don't think that what happened on Wednesday is a big problem, then I don't know if you're ever going to get it. I don't know if you're ever going to understand it. That was an attack on free speech. If we don't exercise our right to free speech, and I'm saying get fucking loud, I'm saying get fucking vocal, because if you have beliefs, chances are a lot of other people have the same beliefs as you. And here's the thing, that far left communist ideology, they're the minority, but they're the ones that scream the loudest. They are not afraid to be loud. Why are we afraid to be loud and get in their fucking face? It's because we never wanted to meet them with that same energy. But here's the problem. Tolerance is not working anymore, because overuse of tolerance is what got Charlie Kirk shot. So no more tolerance. Give tolerance to the people that deserve tolerance, and also give you tolerance. I have had so many conversations with people that were on the left, that were reasonable Democrats, and it was a respectful disagreement. Sometimes it can get heated, as debates do. I'm only going to give tolerance to people that also respect me and give tolerance to me. If that's not the case, and it's an extreme ideology like what we just saw on Wednesday, if that is the correlation, if that is the connection to what got him killed, although I'm not convinced yet. There's not enough details out just yet. We don't know if it was coordinated. We don't know if there's multiple people that were involved. I'm sure you guys have seen that video behind Charlie before he gets shot. You see these two men that are doing stuff with their hat, and it looks like they're giving signs. Are they giving signs to the shooter? Because he's got a scope, right? Like he's 200 yards away. And the problem is we can't point these things out in society because you get labeled as a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. A lot of the conspiracies in the last 5 years have been proven to be true. How in the fuck can we figure out what's going on if we're not able to ask questions? Stop apologizing to people that are trying to keep you silenced. Ask questions. Be thought-provoking. Be controversial. Be skeptical. If you did that, we wouldn't be in this place. And I'm equally at fault. I'm equally to blame. I'm not trying to sit up here on my high horse in my pedestal and say I'm perfect. No, I have fucked up too. I have been very tolerant at times. I'm saying this moment rattles me so much to the core that I can't take it anymore. And that's why I'm mad that other people are not exercising enough urgency to do something about this. You think because you don't have a big platform like Charlie Kirk did, that you can't go out there and make a difference, or you don't have an impact. You are the people that need to be speaking the loudest, because it's not all about the big platform. It's about all of the pockets in society uniting that changes a situation like this. You guys are the most important ones. Me. Regular people. Otherwise, we're going to continue to go down this path which leads to ultimate destruction. Where an ideology as destructive as communist has killed more people than any war, any conflict that's ever gone on around the world. This will kill us if we continue to stay silent and don't exercise our right of free speech. They are trying to suppress our right to free speech. An attack on Charlie is an attack on free speech, is an attack on all of us. You will not have your rights if you do not exercise the use to use your rights. I'm not sure if there's much else to say. I don't know how long this video has gone on. I don't think I'm going to listen to the song another time. I agree with a lot of things that Tom MacDonald said in there, but there's also some things that I disagreed with. It's not liberal. It's not just left. That puts that whole party... And yeah, I think a huge part of the left has gone fucking mad, but it's the far left, man. It's the communist ideology. Yeah, to some extent that party has been infiltrated by that, but I know a ton of people that happen to be Democrats that are so reasonable, that voted for Donald Trump, and quite honestly are probably also very upset and deterred by this whole situation that happened. So we have to be careful by making that sort of statement and just rushing to conclusions and assumptions. There's like this, it's not even sexy to do it, but there's like this attraction to do it because we have these phones at our fingertips and you can just post immediately, you know, your immediate reaction. But that doesn't make everybody's rushing to get out there, put their opinion out there to be like, I'm the one that got it. I'm the one that got it right. Usually when something of this magnitude pops off, usually you don't have enough details. So how could you say like your first initial reaction is the right way to look at it? You don't have enough details. I understand the frustrations. I understand the emotions, but we don't know if they're lying to us. We don't know 100% of what happened. How in the fuck did this kid just do it all by himself? The FBI apparently knew information 2 weeks before the shooting and nothing happened. I hear this all the time in all of these instances, man. We don't know what the fuck is going on. We like to think that we do, but we don't know what the fuck is going on. The last thing I'll say, again, if it is some far left deranged lunatic, if you thought that you could silence the voice of Charlie Kirk by killing him, by shooting him in the neck, you're greatly mistaken. You have failed. You think that you silenced Charlie Kirk, and yet that man was already building a massive movement and a following. When you kill somebody that's already on that level and that rise to legendary status, a Mac Miller, a Charlie Kirk, you've now amplified their voice tenfold, 1,000-fold, 1,000,000-fold. And I wonder how many people in the country, in the world, are going to rise to the call now from this shooting. There are going to be spawning thousands of Charlie Kirks in their own individual way, in their own individual right. You did not silence anybody by shooting Charlie Kirk. In fact, you have woken up a beast. And I am not going to be a person that advocates for violence at all. I'm saying us, regular, common sense Americans, whatever your view might be, whatever your political party affiliation might be, we have to stand together, denounce this crazy ideology, and put our fucking country, but more importantly, our human civilization back together. Because if we don't do that, we are on a very unforgiving and dark path to utter and full-blown annihilation. I am fully convinced of that. Some people do not understand the severity of what just happened on Wednesday with this assassination of Charlie Kirk. I encourage you guys to think about everything that I just said and embed that into your core and open up and try to open up your eyes to the potential of what actually might be going on. We're not asking enough questions. Do not take things at face value, at surface level, and do not be cowarded to not speak. I'm sure Charlie Kirk went up there on those stages in those debate forums many, many times, and I guarantee you he was scared. He might have been nervous. He might have been anxious, but he was following his purpose and he was adhering to a higher God. And in that sense, he had faith. He had faith that carried him through all of those moments. And you know what? And not only the faith, but the man was super courageous to be going up there and having these conversations and getting spat at. And one of the biggest things that we're lacking in the world, but really starting at home in America right now, is we are not exercising enough courage. And that starts with me, that starts with everybody. Go out there and exercise courage. You go do that, you feel better about yourself. Other people see you exercising courage, calling things out for what they are. You know what's good. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. You know what's evil. It's time to denounce the things that are bad or that are evil, and we have to prop up the things that are good and healthy for us. You guys know what that is. You feel it in your body. You feel it in your soul. You don't have to be religious. I'm not just talking about religion. I'm just talking about human decency. That's how we try to at least not fracture this problem anymore and try and solve it. So guys, that's all I have. I'm not going to listen to this a second time because I've been talking, I've been ranting. I got to get other things accomplished today. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I truly think that Charlie Kirk, you were a young legend, sir, and you were just getting your life started. I'm so sorry for your family, your wife, your kids. I know your legacy is going to live on forever, and I take this as an obligation right now to try and carry the torch that you had started to carry in your mission and in your purpose. And I didn't agree with everything that Charlie said. I actually think in a lot of ways, I thought he needed to be more aggressive on some issues, but I mean, he was a stand-up guy, super intelligent, super respectful. Everybody that ever met Charlie Kirk said he was an amazing human being. And from the clips and everything I've watched, that was the same impression that I got, that he was an amazing man. Definitely one that did not deserve to die. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the details emerge and whatnot. I also think an example needs to be made of that shooter to show the whole country, the whole world, that you can't do things like this. Are we just gonna, sweep this shit under the rug like we have with every other conflict, with all the things, the pertinent information about the shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania? Are we just gonna sweep it under the rug? There needs to be some real level of accountability to freak people out, to say, you cannot do things like this. Otherwise, this is the way that you are gonna be penalized. And I know it's not palpable for people. I know they're not gonna accept it, but I mean, civilizations for millennium have been doing things like that. Like literally, for a criminal, somebody who commits a heinous act of crime, you cut their head off and you put it on the stake of the fucking lawn, of the White House lawn, and you see what this guy did? He attacked somebody just because they had opposing political, cultural, social beliefs than he did. He killed a man that was 31, that was just starting life, that was just starting his family. You do something like this, this is the result that you're going to get. And that seems like, oh, you're calling for violence. I'm saying no more tolerance. I don't want this shit to happen anymore. I don't want it to happen to somebody that's on the left, and I don't want it to happen to somebody that's on the right. We have lost all human decency. We have lost the common thread of truth. So we can't agree on anything anymore. That's why we don't make any progress. Violence of that kind not only is condemned, but is put to bed, is put to fucking rest. History repeats itself until you learn your lesson from history. Have more conversations in real life and get off of your phone. Guys, I love you. As always, if you made it all the way to the end, I ask that you do 4 things. You don't have to do all 4, but do one of the 4. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment in the comment section below, and share the message. Doing one of those 4 things really helps me grow my channel, gets my shit out there in front of other people. You know, I put all of this on. This is a passion of mine. It's a dream of mine. If you got value from it, if you learned something, if you had a good time, if it was entertaining, if it, brought you to tears, whatever, if you got something from it, please just share it. Do me a solid. It's the value exchange that we share over here on this channel, this podcast, this whole mission. Guys, I'm out. It's Sunday. Football is here. Miami Dolphins sucked ass last week against the Colts. Let's see if we can rebound and beat the Patriots and go to 1-1. I love you guys. Take care. Be safe. Stay blessed. Be alert. Be aware. And be a positive seed for change, not only in this country, but for the world at large. We're in a very dark time in human history right now. And it's going to take a collective effort to get this train to turn around and get off the bad side of the tracks and to get back on the good side of the tracks. But if there is any consolation, again, it doesn't have to be a religious thing. Good always prevails over evil. You have a voice. You have the ability to speak. And you are able to do that for a reason. Do not think that you can't make an impact. You can. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Music reaction podcast, whatever it turns out to be. Oh my God, my throat is so dry. I know I got so away from the actual music. Tom MacDonald. But this is a big issue. And it's go time. It's go time.